Hi and welcome to video number 9. Congratulations, you have finished creating your webinar and set up your webinar. Now it's time to market your webinar. So let me give you some methods that you can use to market your webinar. Here are some methods that you can use. First, you can post it on your blog or on your website. That's the number one thing that you probably might want to do before you do anything else. Another thing is you could do webinar JVs and what that means is this. Let's say that you don't have a list. So obviously you can't really promote your webinar, right? No, you can actually do that by approaching list owners. So let's say, for example, that you are doing a webinar in the self-improvement industry, specifically, let's say with, trying to think of one, let's say specifically with weight loss. In this case, you would want to find people with weight loss products. You can go to ClickBank, you could go to Amazon, find people with existing products and approach those people. These people understand the value in a webinar, especially if you're providing lots of educational material. And the reason why a lot of list owners are open to promoting your webinar is if your webinar adds value. If your webinar adds value, guess what? The relationship between the customer and the list owner is going to strengthen because the customer feels like, oh, this weight loss list owner is emailing me webinar information that's going to potentially help me. So in this case, the customer relationship is strengthened between the list owner and the owner because the list owner knows that you're providing them good material, but at the same time they understand that webinars are also a great way to convert into sales. So the only way that the list owner is going to want to JV with you is if you have an affiliate program. So meaning if they send you the traffic, and let's say they send you a couple thousand people, and out of those couple thousand people, some people buy, every one of those people that they refer, you need to credit the list owner and pay the list owner a commission. So for example, you could have 50% commissions or 75% commissions on everybody that they send over. And you need to be able to track the affiliate program using an affiliate software like ClickBank or anything else. So that's one great way that you can use to promote your webinar is simply by approaching list owners in your niche. But a word of warning, do not approach list owners that are not in your niche. If you do that, most likely you're going to get a no, and most likely if they do send people over, they're not going to convert. So you definitely want to get list owners that are in your niche because they will see the value in your webinar. Other methods is to send a newsletter. Obviously, if you have a subscribers list. If you don't have a subscribers list, you're going to have to take the JV with list owner approach, which that approach you don't need to have a list. You simply need to create a good system and approach the right people. You can also do a contest. Now here's some methods that you can implement, and what I want to do is after this slide I will show you how to go to these sites and how to implement these methods. One method is press releases. You can use sites like prweb.com and webwire.com, which is only $19.95. In fact, Webwire is cheap and it allows you to get indexed within the Google News area fairly quickly. So PureWeb also gets you ranked into Google News as well, and I'll show you how you can use press releases to do that. Another method is social media. You could use Facebook, LinkedIn, make a Facebook fan page, make a LinkedIn page. post the webinar on Dig, Reddit, StumbleUpon. I know I can tell you that Reddit generates a good amount of traffic and people that will take action. PPC, you can use Facebook marketing, you can use Google AdWords marketing with PPC in relation to that. That's a great way to get people to your webinar, especially if you're trying to test your webinar out. So now that you know these things, let me go ahead and go to Google and go to the press release sites, social media sites, and pay-per-click sites and show you how to do it and how to find these websites. So the first thing I want to talk about is press releases. Press releases are a great way to announce your webinar and things like that, because press releases tell the world about what is happening, and if you're providing educational material and it's free, then what better way to advertise than using a press release? Now, there are two sites that I mentioned previously, is prweb.com and webwire.com. With Webwire, it's only $19.95. In fact, if you scroll down to the middle, to the right here, it's $19.95, and PRWeb here. Now, of course, you're going to need to have a press release before you submit to a press release site. Now, if you don't know how to create a press release, that's fine. I'll show you how you can get it created. If you go to a site called Fiverr.com, that's Fiverr.com, and you go there and you type in the keywords press release write, and then you click on rating, that will give you the top people who write press releases and are getting good ratings. That way you don't have to figure out who's good and who's not, and you can go straight to here. Now, Fiverr is called Fiverr because guess what? You only have to pay $5 and get a press release written. How good is that? That's actually pretty good. So for $5 you can get a press release or a couple of press releases written. Once you have that in hand, I'd recommend that you go to webwire.com and get it submitted. And it's really up to you. You can use PRWeb or you can use WebWire. It really depends on you and what you want to do. So I would definitely recommend these two sites. The second thing I want to recommend is using social bookmarking. Social bookmarking is a great way to get indexed into Google and spread the news. In fact, social bookmarking is all about spreading news. Dig.com is good and Reddit.com is good. Now, there are many different types of social bookmarking sites out there, and one site that I would recommend that I personally use is onlywire.com. Onlywire.com allows you to submit to about 40-50 social bookmarking sites at one time. So it's sort of like an auto submission software. But with social bookmarking, you don't have to enter a lot, as you can see here. All you have to do is have a title, a catchy title. So you want to make sure that whoever you're targeting, your keywords are in that title. You want to have a description and the URL, and that's it. And I found another great way to get traffic is to post it on Dig and Reddit.com, and then go to Fiverr.com, and then find people who are what we call power diggers and get them to dig your Dig or your Reddit. You see, as you can see, these have 66 and 71 digs. The more digs you have, the higher your ranking goes, and the more visible your news is going to be. Now, the last thing I want to talk about are PPC. I'm not really going to show you how to write a Google AdWords and set up your campaign and this and that, but Google AdWords is a great way to advertise your webinar. Of course, before you do any of that, you're going to need to do some keyword research. One tool that I would recommend is called MarketSamurai.com, and it's go to MarketSamurai.com. And another thing is you could just type in the Google keyword tool, which is pretty much sufficient as well. So that's that And the last thing is Facebook ad marketing. I've used Facebook ad marketing, which is great and works wonders. And all you have to do is go to the bottom of your Facebook account, click on advertising, and you'll be able to create your Facebook ad. Now, I like Facebook a lot more than I do Google AdWords because not only can you target people specifically, you can target their area from anywhere from their state, city, demographics, and so forth. Now, with Google AdWords, you can target people in an area, but with Google AdWords, you cannot target people in a specific niche unless you use something like placement targeting. But with Facebook, you can target people who are interested in a specific niche. And you target those people and you get them to join your webinar, and you can go from there. So it's very important for you to understand who your audience is and who your buyers are going to be so that you can target them correctly.